Good afternoon or good morning, wherever you are. And it's Tuesday, the 8th of March, 2022, just in case I forget. The background here is in Waterford, Ireland. It was taken in 1910 or 1901 or something like that. It's a long time ago, beautiful background. But the purpose of our little video today is to rustle up some help because on the 20th of March, at 1 p.m. starting in Dandenong area. The people in Victoria can help us by turning up there. Now, we will give everybody the address on appropriate time. If you need to know if you can attend and help us out at these court cases, we will put the email address up. Send us an email. We'll then register you at, I don't like the word register, the secretary of the court, Anne, she will contact you an email and give you the address. If also those people are obviously on Telegram will know automatically. Now, the court cases, we have one for a printer who didn't turn up to mediation, and now he's been summoned before a court of his peers. He sacked a number of staff unlawfully. We have another case where a couple of nurses have been sacked as well in their hospital. They've already received their invitation to mediation. If they don't turn up on the 10th, which more than likely they won't, their court case will be held on the 20th in Dandenong as well. Now, we also need a grand jury on that day because we have the RSL and the RSL and the Salvation Army complaints was received to the common law court in relation to people not being allowed in there under some kerfuffle. They didn't produce some documents. Okay, we all know what that's about, but we can't talk about it, and that's fair enough. So looking forward to seeing you guys in Dandenong. Please, there's room for at least 400 people. We need at least 200, maybe 3. We will get that. We'll get 100 anyway, but we need more because the more we can get, we can pick a jury from a large gathering of people. Men and women will turn up there and we'll pick a jury of 12 for one case and a jury of 12 for another case. And then we'll pick a grand jury, which is 23 people. And that grand jury can sit with the 2 cases because a grand jury is held in secret. Nobody gets invited to that. It's held and they decide whether it's a case to answer or not. And then a summons is issued to the defendants to come and defend their allegations, but it's the grand jury then lays the charge, not an individual man or woman. So please, if you can help us, be in Dandenong on the 20th of March. And we will, if you want the information, send us an email. The address will be above. I promise not to forget to put it up there, but we do need your help. After all, this is your court. You are the men and women who can change things. All the protests is great, but really when the protests are over, the people go home and the government just don't give a toss, right? If half the population turned up and done something, but it's not going to happen in Australia, only a few hardworking people who want to fight for change. And sadly, they get labeled as by the government, it's wrong. The people individually can bring the system to its knees. We just have a gathering together, men and women, to get a lawful remedy. Now that we've organized the court cases for the 20th of March, we'll have a look at the website. I've done a short little video on the website, how to download your documents. You click on the download the document, click at the top of the document, not the bottom. Top means it comes down in Word, which you can type in and change things. If you do it at the bottom, it comes down in PDF, which is no good. Unless you want to keep it, you can't really type into it. The reason we're having these court cases is because somebody has to make a stand. And why are we having a grand jury for it's the RSL and the Salvation Army? Because they've violated people's natural God-given rights. And we have to go back. Why individuals? We charge individuals. Well, you remember when Hitler had all these soldiers and out there shooting and killing people, they said we were only following orders. Now, every army man like myself and every ex-policeman knows that you only follow lawful orders. Now, we've got a lot of police men and women, or police officers there, who follow orders anyway. They don't care because they're thugs. A policeman or a policewoman do not break the law. They don't want to. Some resign because of it. And it's just criminal, and we have to put a stop to it. So that's why the Salvation Army, the RSL, or anybody else who's violated men and women's rights are just another link in the chain. And without that link, the chain will break. So the weakest part of any chain is the link. So they carried on unlawful orders. So they're responsible for the consequences of their actions, like we all are. Humanity, caution, and prudence. Remember the principles of common law in simplicity: do no harm, cause no harm, and be mindful of the consequences of your actions. So that's the reason the court cases is on the 20th of March this year, which is only next the week after next. It's very soon. So let's make sure you can all get there. You can download the documents, and the one there's for a court, you send that off registered mail to the court physical address. It must be the physical address, not a box, because everything in a box, it's locked down. It's got nothing to do with reality. Let's have a quick look at our website. It's got everything there you need. So let's just go through page by page quickly. I promise to be fast. Okay, here we go. Let's head over to the news. The news is pretty important because you can look at this one here, the Universal Legal Technology, if you want to learn a little bit about the law. You go to that website here, the Ministry of, you read it yourself. Go there in Google, and you actually can download this. And it goes through, look, if you want to know anything about law, if you're not too lazy to do a little bit of research, everything is in there. To Officeworks, and they will download it for you. They will download it onto a USB. They will print it into a book binding little thing, and it'll cost you about 13, 14, 15 bucks, but then you'll have the whole thing. If you're serious about learning the law, just click on videos, and it comes up with what common law is all about. A couple of my videos. People have had enough. And here's a very important one. It tells you about grand juries, and it's coming from the horse's head, not its butt. This man here recommends, he's a professor, he recommends grand juries. Indictments. Well, all these guys have been indicted. Two of them have already been convicted. That's Sutton and Daniel Andrews. They've been convicted. Some of these other guys, we'll have to give it some thought. It takes time. We'll get around to some of the ones that are very important. Just go to Westpac Bank. There's the numbers there, and put in a few dollars on a regular basis if you can. If not, just give us whatever you can, because we do need it. And it's your court. It's helping you, I, and me, and all the other eyes. Okay. Now, documents. Everybody wants to get out of paying fines. Well, I always promise people promise to pay the fines. Click on there. Now, this is a new one I just put up. It's to do with an invitation. A summons is an invitation to go to court. So here you received an invitation to go to court. So you said, I'll accept it. And there's the conditions that you're going to accept it on. You put your ID up the top there on the left, the flag, because the flag states the court. If it was a Japanese court, you'd have a Japanese flag there. So if in the court, if it was on a level playing field, which it's not, you'd need 5 different flags on the 5 different levels. But anyway, that's beside the point. The clerk of the court, you read it yourself there, freeze frame it if it's going too fast. Now, the stamp goes on the back, and you endorse it at 45 degrees, as it says there on the back of the envelope, right? That comes under the bill of landing. It has to be accepted by the court because it's in the post, and everybody knows you can't interfere with the post. It's a crime. Okay, so don't forget, we've got big court cases coming up. That's what this was all about in the beginning. On the 20th of March in Dandenong area, be there. We need you because we've got a grand jury coming up for very large companies that wronged us, done wrong to the men and women of this place. See you then. Well, thanks for watching that. I hope it helped, especially the documents. The whole purpose of this is to get support from the men and women of Australia in general. If you want to set up a common law court international in conjunction with us, that's here in Victoria, UK, etc., we will help you out the best we can. Just be wary of imitations. There's a lot of assemblies around which are nothing more than money grabbing businesses. They're spreading false information. Just be wary. If you want information, you'll get it from Lundov on YouTube and on Rumble as well. And we're on a few others as well. But YouTube is the main one. Rumble is taking care of stuff that we can. Sometimes we've got to be careful what we say. Well, that's fair enough. Anyway, Lundov News sign off. Looking forward to seeing you guys on the 20th of March. We will, don't forget, we'll put an email up, send an email for the address, because we got to, obviously there's lots of trolls out there. We got to be careful, and we don't want to cause any problems and law abiding. We will be swearing in a couple of new deputy sheriffs who will take the oath before the grand jury, or correction, take the oath before a jury of their peers on that day. So looking forward to seeing you all in Dandenong on the 20th of March. Bye for now.